It would be nice to have it happen at PNC Park this time around. Well, it won't, but the groundwork for the celebration could be laid here. The Brewers are clinging to the playoff ledge by their fingernails. The Pirates can put them out of their misery by stomping on those fingernails and getting ready for their playoff appearance in some form or fashion in the process.
Mark Melancon let his emotions fly last night as he picked up his 30th save of the season, a nail-biter. But the Pirates held on and beat the Red Sox. They swept the series. They keep the pressure on the first-place Cardinals in the Central, who won in 13 innings last night. A devastating loss, some would say, for the Milwaukee Brewers. The Brewers getting in early this morning as the Pirates and Brewers meet the final 3 regular season games here at PNC Park. And what a conclusion, what a fitting end to the regular season as the Pirates meet their longtime nemesis, the Milwaukee Brewers. We take a look at the updated standings. Central Division, Pirates 2.5 back. The Brewers are hanging on 3.5 behind the Pirates for that second wild card spot. Greg Brown along with Bob Walk. Glad you could join us. And Bob, this is it for the Milwaukee Brewers without question. They need maybe a sweep to have any hopes at all of overtaking the Pirates for a playoff spot. Meanwhile, how about the Pirates being able to maybe put the nail in the coffin of the Milwaukee Brewers?
It could be a lot of fun. Well, I'm hoping it's going to be a lot of fun this weekend. And you're playing a team that really has their back right up against the wall. They cannot afford to lose even one game. They're going to be pulling out all the stops, but that's really what the Pirates, I think, have been doing now for the last week or so. They're pulling out all the stops every single night, just concentrating on that game right in front of them. Well, now it's the Brewers right in front of us. Got to win every night. Just put them away.
Bob, the Brewers have won this season series again, regardless of what happens. You take a look at the head-to-head competition. They've won 11 of 16, though the last time these two clubs met in Milwaukee, the Pirates won 2 of 3.
Of 16 games, 10 of them came in the first 6 weeks of the season when we couldn't beat anybody unless they were wearing a Cub uniform. So I'm going to take that with a grain of salt right there.
Fired up Bob Walk, taking a look at the statistics there, head-to-head, the Pirates and the Milwaukee Brewers in a battle for the postseason. The Pirates and the Brew Crew meeting. It's a playoff-type atmosphere in Pittsburgh. Getting ready for Game 1 of 3 coming up next. Pennant race is on, and it's here in Pittsburgh now. Clear the deck! This ball's clubbed!
How do you like that? I'll tell you, they got a good recipe going right now.
Pirates are hot on the Cardinals' tails.
Everybody's up at PNC Park.
Raise the Jolly Roger!
What a big win this is.
What a season it's been as we get ready to conclude the regular season at PNC Park, the first of the huge 3-game series against the Milwaukee Brewers. Pirates will hit the road next week, 4 in Atlanta and then 3 next weekend in Cincinnati. We'll be watching the Reds and Cardinals in St. Louis tonight, see what they do as we continue to scoreboard watch. See the Pirates taking the field and Jeff Locke getting ready against this Honda lineup. Ron Renicki's Milwaukee Brewers. Carlos Gomez will lead things off. Ryan Braun hits second, and this year's batting .313 against Pirates pitching. Jonathan Lucroy having a great year. The catcher hits third. Aramis Ramirez, the former Pirate cleanup. Chris Davis has been an unsung hero. He's in left. Ricky Weeks gets the start at second. Mark Reynolds at first base. Gene Segura, the shortstop, and Ivani Gallardo on the mound.
Jeff Locke is the guy on the mound for us tonight, and hopefully it'll be the Jeff Locke that's got that good control and can throw not only the fastball but his other pitches where he wants to, but everything feeds off the heater. Got to be able to locate it inside and outside, stay out of the middle of the plate, but at the same time he can't try to be so fine where he's falling behind in the count and walking people. It's a little bit of a balancing act, and Jeff knows that, but this is the big leagues. You got to make your pitches.
First pitch swinging toward left center field, and McCutchen is there. 1 pitch, 1 out. Carlos Gomez is retired. Volvo defense for Pittsburgh. McCutchen in center. Travis Snyder in right. Starling Marte in left. Josh Harrison and Gabby Sanchez on the corners. Up the middle, Jordy Mercer, Neil Walker, and Russell Martin catches. That sound you hear is the greeting Russell Braun receives from this sellout crowd. Ryan Braun.
They boo Russell also.
Ryan Braun. Did I say Russell Braun?
Yeah.
Nice start, Greg.
You keep track of these, Greg?
That's up to Zach.
Yeah.
Braun takes the strike. Boy, the Brewers had a great opportunity last night. Had a 2-0 lead late against the Cardinals. Cardinals tied it up. A defensive mistake helped, and then players like Braun had opportunities with men in scoring position late. But the Brewers, that is as tough a loss as they've had all year. Ron Renicki taking some heat lately. He's in his 4th season as the skipper. 1 ball, 1 strike. And lined into left center field. Marte going to have to hurry. He does. Fires towards second. This could be close, but Walker can't hold on to it. If he does, he's got a shot at getting Braun.
I believe he would have been out. I think the glove, the empty glove, was there in time. Just couldn't come up with it. A little bit of a do or die play for the infielder. You can't move out toward the ball or back up trying to get a better hop. You got to be able to take just whatever it is. That was a little bit of an in-between hop. Glanced off the glove, but I think you'll see the empty glove get down in time. Oh yeah, it would have been down in plenty of time. Every little thing under a microscope tonight.
Yeah.
As it's been really for a week or so now.
Braun gets the double, but talk about doubles. Here's the doubles machine. Jonathan Lucroy, 52 to lead the league.
You know, it's funny that everything, like I said, is under a microscope for both these clubs all the time now here at the end, but these games don't count anything more than they did 2 months ago, when you would kind of slough off things like, oh, okay, we'll get them tomorrow. But
that's what September does.
They all count. They all count. But when you do get into September and you're looking at your games behind and magic numbers and all that sort of thing, there you see those doubles that Greg was talking about. Then it does hit magnified. Everybody's talking about it. Any kind of little mistake, and you go into the winner if some mistake costs you thinking about it.
Saw the Barrel Automotive League leaders, Major League leader, Jonathan Lucroy. 0-2 the count. 1-2, and now Braun takes off for third, and he's there with one out on a wild pitch.
Another little bit of a break goes the Brewers' way. Obviously, with one out, that's a very big 90 feet getting to third base.
Wild pitch for Jeff Locke. The first he has uncorked all season. Infield back. Lucroy, one of the toughest to strike out in the league. And a line drive, and it's 1-0 Milwaukee. A great start to the game. One pitch, Gomez was retired, but Braun, the double, as Walker missed the throw from Marte, the wild pitch, and the base hit for Lucroy, his 68th RBI.
Mistake pitch, so slow and high. Just a changeup or curveball. That looks like a changeup, and look where the location was. It's very top of the strike zone. You have to locate that ball downstairs, especially if you're looking at it like that. Maybe it was a curveball, just didn't break. But especially if you're ahead in the count, it better be down and borderline strike at best down.
Bounce to third. Little acrobatic move by Harrison. Because he didn't field it cleanly, he can't go to second, but does get the out at first.
Hey, look at the little things that are happening here in the first inning. Braun had a chance to get Braun out at second. We didn't come up with that. Then you get the wild pitch. He moves over to third with one out, which didn't turn out to make any difference, but could have. And now a chance for a double play, and there's a little bit of a bobble. You only end up getting one. These are all the little things that we're going to talk about almost inning by inning tonight, and really for the whole weekend.
Every little thing is magnified. Everything. Allegheny Health Network Supermo. And that might have broken his bat. A fly ball to center. Chris Davis will be retired, so Locke ends up giving up a tainted run. We'll check out the Pirates starting lineup. Josh Harrison will be leading things off. The lineup brought to you by Toyota. Jay Hay, the league's leading hitter currently. Starling Marte will bat second, then Andrew McCutcheon last two seasons against Gallardo, 10 for 28. Neil Walker hits cleanup. Russell Martin follows. Travis Snyder gets the call in right. And Gabby Sanchez, the right-handed hitter at first base. Gallardo splits worse against righties. Jordy Mercer, the shortstop, and Jeff Locke.
Gallardo, not quite as hard a thrower he was in the past. Average velocity on his fastball nowadays probably around 91, 92. But obviously, you're looking at his numbers, he can still get it done. Mid-3 ERA, and when it's all said and done this year, he'll be up close to 200, get over 190, you would think.
He has struggled lately. Last 5 starts, 0-4, 5.26 ERA.
Yeah, I really think the hitters now, the Pirate hitters, they have some confidence now off of Gallardo. It's not like a few years ago when they thought, well, he's pitching, it's going to be a long night. They don't have that attitude anymore.
A fly ball to right. Ryan Braun under it. Harrison is retired. Jay Hayes, batting average of .319, 2 points better than Justin Morneau of the Colorado Rockies. He was hitless last night. Well, Gallardo, we said last 5 starts, 0-4, 5.26 ERA. Gets Harrison, his battery mate Jonathan Lucroy. He has been tremendous at PNC Park over the years. 6-2 with a 1.44 ERA. 10 starts in this ballpark.
And he has been the mainstay of their rotation for a while now, and I'm sure right now he's thinking, okay, the whole team is looking at me to put an end to this. We have to win tonight. The season's slipping away. And he had to do probably a lot of thinking, I would imagine, this afternoon about this start and about what it means to him and means to all of his teammates. Veteran club. They've been around a while.
Shortstop Segura coming in. On the move. Nice play to get Marte. Fly out. And a bouncer. Now Andrew McCutchen. 5th in the league in hitting.
Third, center fielder, number 22, Andrew McCutchen.
To really get this crowd up and yelling if he could do something special here to tie the game. I mean, that's the kind of magic that we used to see a lot last year when we got into that stretch of games, driving forward to the playoffs. And you just have the feeling it's going to be the same kind of night tonight. Really get the crowd going, get them into this ball game early.
Line toward the left center field gap, and extra bases for McCutchen. That goes all the way to the notch. He's got 2, and maybe he wants to think about 3. He will, as the ball was bobbled by Gomez. He was going to pull up with a double, and they give him a triple.
Oh, with 2 outs, you never want to take any kind of a gamble that you might get thrown out at third, but once he saw Gomez not pick up the ball, then I mean, he could practically walk to third after that. In fact, if he would have failed to pick it up a second time, you might even think trying to score him at that point. Gomez racing into the gap, and right there he lost his footing, and that's why the triple was there for the taking. Right there he sees the ball get dropped, and okay, I'll go ahead. Go another 90 feet, even though there's 2 outs.
A lot of ways to score from third. 6th triple the season for McCutchen. Neil Walker at the plate. For 4 last night. Neil Walker. Walker, Kutch, Locke, Bucktober. Chase is up 0-2.
They put that ball right where he wanted it. You saw Lucroy give the target. Give me something by the letters. And even though he's not really throwing all that hard anymore, 91, just an average fastball. If you can get a chase upstairs, Most of the time you're going to get no contact, or maybe even just a pop-up, a lazy pop-up in the infield. That's what he was going for.
Checks. Lucroy will ask for an appeal. Won't get it. 1 ball, 2 strikes the count on Neil Walker.
Well, he couldn't get him upstairs, so maybe he'll try and bounce one here, Greg. And as you pointed out, being at third, there's a few more ways to score, and one of them is if he drops a hook on the ground and it gets away. Won't have to go far.
He's thrown 6 wild pitches this season. Just missed. Joe West, the veteran crew chief who was suspended for a game last week because of how he handled literally Jonathan Papelbon. So boy, he had a lot of fans throughout the country for the way Joe went about that.
Joe knows one way to umpire.
I'll tell you what, he's
been doing it for years.
Great job by Joe West to get Papelbon out of that ball game after a broken back flare, and the second baseman Weeks backs up and takes it on the hop. Pirates strand a runner, and after 1, Brewers lead it 1-0. The next 10 days, Pirates just trying to concentrate on winning, as they've done all year long, 1 game at a time, and a strike is called on Ricky Weeks. Clint Hurdle admitted to watching a little bit of the game when he got home last night, but he's stayed pretty much true to his word about not focusing on that out-of-town scoreboard. 0-2 on Weeks.
There's some good location on the breaking balls. Let the change up, down, away, get some chases on it.
Ricky Weeks' numbers on the year, .256 average, but .375 against Pirates pitching this season for Ricky Weeks. 3 for 10 lifetime against Locke. Brewers have a tremendous record against left-handed starting pitching this season. They're 21-15. Weeks has to get a lot of credit as he platoons with Scooter Gennett at second.
One of the few teams that beat Kershaw. Beat that lefty.
Yeah.
It's a nice little feather in your cap.
Kershaw won his 20th game of the year today at Wrigley Field in Chicago.
Squeaked by, huh?
Yeah. 14-5. They made him work, believe it or not, the Cubbies. Threw a lot of pitches, did Kershaw in his 5 innings. Allowed 7 hits, 3 runs, but struck out 9. His ERA 180 now. Weeks fouls it off. It's a 2-2 count on Ricky Weeks. Matt Garza, Milwaukee Brewers right-hander, will pitch tomorrow night against Edinson Volquez. Last night it was Kyle Loesch who left figuring he was going to get the W. Especially when with 1 out in the bottom of the 8th inning and a man on first. As he was watching from the dugout, the bullpen was called upon to get a big ground ball to Mark Reynolds at first base. Hard hit ground ball right at Mark Reynolds. He turned, took a step and a half, casually stepped on the first base bag, forgetting there was only 1 out. It was a double play ball. A 2-0 game. And Mark Reynolds has been so good defensively at first and third, but look at this. He thought that was the 3rd out. Stunned. How big was that? Well, Cardinals went on to tie it. They went 13 and then they won it. Ground ball toward third. There's Harrison. Retires Weeks. Reynolds will be coming to the plate. We have an Allegheny Health Network injury update. Charlie Morton, who pitched for the first time in over a month on Tuesday and got the win against the Red Sox through a bullpen session today, didn't feel great. He's going to be shut down. He's going to go see another doctor, and for all intents and purposes, that will be it for Charlie Morton. You have to figure the surgery is probably in the offing before too long, so the Pirates basically get 1 start out of Morton. That will be it, and now Vance Worley will take over. And when you think about it, you need basically 2 more starts from your so-called 5th starter. So we'll get Worley on Sunday, and he'll pitch again on Friday in Cincinnati, and hopefully then on to the playoffs where you don't need 5 starters. Ball to strike on Reynolds.
Yeah, another really good changeup. That's looking to be a good pitch now for Locke. A little trouble with the location there in that first inning, but not this inning. Another one. That was fastball. Same spot though, down away, a little tail to it. That's what makes his changeup so good, is they both kind of have that same action to them. Reynolds, 22 home runs, 45 RBIs.
Yeah, incredible. 197 average. Got him. Strikes out Mark Reynolds. 2 away. With more on the Vance Worley situation, go back downstairs to Robbie and Smokowski.
Well, Greg, I had a chance to talk to Vance Worley earlier, and I asked him about the routine and what might have been different since his last start was skipped in favor of Charlie Morton, and he did indeed acknowledge the fact that the routine was a little bit different. He didn't throw on a scheduled bullpen day, which would have been yesterday. Now, he threw about 16 pitches off the mound on Wednesday after Frankie Liriano's start, just to get a feel for the mound. And then again today, he threw another 18 to 20 pitches just to let it rip a little more, so he's ready to go for Sunday. So he said, hey, the team told him, if Charlie isn't ready, you need to be ready. So even though his routine was a bit different than normal, he sounds ready to go, Greg.
And pretty obvious, Robbie, that had that suspicion when we saw him in the dugout rather than the bullpen last night. So Worley's a pro. He will be ready to go. And I'm sure he's looking forward to that start on Sunday. There have been times we've seen it when a starter goes to the bullpen. It can create maybe some friction, some hard feelings. Remember when, was it Kevin Correa a few years ago?
No friction there.
No, not at all. Correa was a starting pitcher. The Pirates made a deal, I think, for Wandy Rodriguez, right? Was that the trade?
Yeah, it was for
Rodriguez came, and then they sent Correa, who was pitching well, into the bullpen, and it was not good. He didn't handle it well at first.
Yeah, that first batting practice of the next day he spent the whole BP on Towles Hill all by himself.
Yep. Down in Houston.
It was not a good thing, and it happens sometimes. I think after a while he got over it, and I think some of the other players have talked to him, and it was okay. But everybody has to be professional and be a man about it.
Strike 3 call. Gene Segura goes down. 1-2-3 for Jeff Lott. 1-0 Brewers.
Brought to you by Toyota. Now's the time to go places with Toyota. Visit buyatoyota.com for special offers. And by PNC Bank. Know where you stand with PNC Total Insight. Let's go Bucks!
Packed crowd at PNC Park for the first of the final 3 regular season home games. Pirates going to be setting their all-time attendance record by the end of this weekend. Russell Martin now, he was given the day off yesterday. Chris Stewart did a nice job helping the Pirates beat the Bo Sox. Martin has a 9-game hitting streak. .385 average on the year against the Brewers. Ball to strike on Russell Martin. .278 career against Gallardo. Team 0-5 in his last 5 starts. Opponents hitting .311 against him over his last handful of ball games. Throwing a lot of pitches. Martin shows more patience.
And his own admission, he has been saying that he's just not getting the ball down at all. And not in the last 4 starts.
And he gets Martin to pop it up. Ramirez. Martin got ahead of the count but pops it up. Gallardo has great numbers at PNC Park in his career that we talked about and showed you. He has 89 career wins. That's 5th on the all-time Brewers list, behind Jim Slayton, the all-time wins leader.
Got all the strikeouts.
Mike Caldwell, Teddy Higuera, and Moose Haas. Yep, the all-time strikeout leader. He passed Ben Sheets earlier. A strike is called on Travis Snyder. Left-handed hitter. Lefty's batting just .228 against Gallardo, but Clint Hurdle telling us before the game about the fact that Snyder has had a good approach at the plate, number one. Defensively, an upgrade over a guy like, say, Jose Tabata, if you're looking for a right-handed hitter. And Snyder batting .273 against the Brewers on the year, though he is just 2 for 11 lifetime against Gallardo. Oh for 3 with a walk and a run scored last night. Caught looking. First strikeout for Gallardo.
They had nice little cluster down in the bottom right-hand corner. See the Point Park University strike zone. That's just painting. That's what he's trying to do. Just hit that corner down there with everything he can. And he's thinking, okay, if he swings at those, it's going to probably be soft contact. If he takes them, maybe I can get some strikes called, and that's what happened. But that's exactly what a pitcher talks about when he says, I was hitting my spots, or I couldn't hit my spots. Well, in that at bat, Gallardo was definitely hitting his spot. And that's the kind of pitcher he is now. He's not a stuff guy anymore. He truly pitches now. He moves the ball in and out, tries to change speeds. He's not all that worried about strikeouts. Heck, he's already got that record, right?
That's right.
So, I mean, he wants efficient outs, pitching to some contact. He's just worried about trying to take the sting out of the bat and get some soft outs. And again, nice paint there. A little fastball that just nicks the outside corner. That just by a smidgen.
Broken bat, little flare, and Gabby Sanchez has an opposite field single.
That's the kind of soft contact he's looking for. Hit a pitcher's pitch. This definitely is. Looks like off the plate a little bit. Breaks the bat so that the ball is softly hit. But even sometimes the soft hits are going to find an opening.
Two-out single. Jordy Mercer to the plate. Broken bat goes back to the league for study.
Is that what happens to him?
I don't know. That was a good guess. They used to. They used to. I mean,
like an autopsy type.
Well,
thing.
they had cut back on it for. And I don't know the statistics now, but it doesn't seem to you that recently, the last couple of months, they're breaking it?
Yeah, they're breaking again. So I know something about the seasonably cold winter we had. Probably what it was.
Yeah.
Wood's brittle.
Right. Close play over there. Gabby Sanchez, who's not going anywhere.
Guessing that was what was it? Fairly close play. Guessing those are maple bats that we're seeing. Sailing coming back. That was the problem a few years back, was the maple bats shattering.
This is the other way. Toward the right field corner. Oh, a nice catch made by Ryan Braun. Would have been extra bases and probably tie the game. 1-0 after 2. Steelers head coach Mike Tomlin takes the podium first, live at noon, followed by Pitt's Paul Christ at 1, and WVU head coach Dana Holgerson at 1:30. Press conference Tuesday, every Tuesday at noon on Root Sports. Beautiful PNC Park, winding down another year and season, and hopefully some postseason to be played here, but work to be done. Trailing early, 1-0. Heading to the third, and Yvonne Gallardo will step in against Jeff Locke, rooting for the Pirates. Strike one on Gallardo. His average this season 100, but has a dozen career home runs, most of any pitcher active in the big leagues. His last home run was hit against Wandy Rodriguez in April of last year. Hopefully on the road to Bucktober. Good use of Root on that side. 2-1. Toward the left side, a nice pick there by Harrison. Shehay throws out the pitcher. Nice little play. Want to see how you root for your Pittsburgh Pirates? Send us your photo via Twitter. Use the hashtag BucksFanPhoto, and we'll show them during our broadcast. The AT&T fan photo or photos of the night. How about that? Great look.
Take a little nap.
Yep.
That's all right. Pass fire in.
Strike one on Gomez. Started the ball game off with a fly out.
Took a pitch.
Yeah. And he's hit by a pitch. Gomez aboard.
Dropped this curveball right in on his toe. Gomez can run. You're going to have to keep an eye on him.
He has 33 steals on the year. He's fourth in the league. And Ryan Braun, who doubled into the left center field gap and scored the run in the first inning. And incredibly enough, the Brewers allowed him to be their Roberto Clemente representative. That is unbelievable. I mean, you'd almost say shameful.
Who decides? I mean, is it like a vote or something?
I think the team signs off on it for community work. I mean, you'd think there would be, regardless of what Braun has done this year with charity work or whatnot, but you'd think you'd take a step back for a while after, of course, being suspended finally last year after denying the PED use.
It's called forgiveness, Greg.
We are a forgiving nation, that is for sure. You're right about that. But that's overboard. Runner goes. And right on the money. Got him. The sniper nails Gomez. Ron Renicki's going to come out. Buy some time. See if they want to review it or challenge it. Good luck on the Allegheny Health Network Supermo.
Absolutely perfect throw. He might be in there, Greg. No, maybe not. First view, I thought maybe, but from that shot, he's out.
They will not challenge. See, Walker looked up at the umpire and didn't see a call, so he tried to apply it and did apply another tag. Caught stealing 2-4. Russell Martin nails another runner.
Had to be one of his best throws of the year.
Yeah.
Had a lot on it, and could he have run down there and just like set the ball in a better spot for a tap? Inches off the ground, right in front of the bag.
Caught for just the 11th time this season is Gomez. Braun hits it hard, but at Harrison on the backhand play. Jay's been busy early, and they love seeing Ryan Braun retire. And they love seeing their catcher, who may be on his way to winning a second Gold Glove, nail another runner.
On Root Sports is brought to you by the Chevy Traverse and your Western PA Chevy dealers. And by Day Automotive. We're going to make your day. Let's go, Bucs.
It is 1-0 Brewers. Going to the bottom of the third inning. Carlos Gomez thrown out trying to steal against Russell Martin. Ron Renicky had mentioned before the game about how Russell Martin's a guy, unless your pitcher is, the opposing pitcher is slow to the plate, basically don't run on. Gomez tried it and was thrown out. Oh, 2 on Locke. 5 hits on the year. And he is retired routinely. Second strikeout for Gallardo. A one-man highlight show. Josh Harrison's physical talents and unbreakable confidence have helped him burst onto the national scene this year. Hear exclusive interviews from his family, teammates, and more as you follow his rise from bench player to all-star and everyday third baseman on a special edition of Inside Pirates Baseball. Jay Hay Every Day tomorrow at 6 on Root Sports. Jay Hay Every Day, Jay Hay All Day. Average still at .319. Strike one on Harrison. Fly to right field in the first. A bunch of storylines for this 2014 Pirates team, trying to overtake the Cardinals, get into postseason play, try to win the Central, and then you've got Josh Harrison battling for a batting title. Who knows about MVP possibilities with him and
look at the Pirates' record when Josh Harrison became an everyday player. I mean, he was an everyday player that was moving around out there, but he still was in the lineup every day. That's when the winning started. It's not 100% Josh Harrison, but huge part of the turnaround this year, back in the middle part of May.
Three and one. Second time through the lineup here for Gallardo. Full count. Harrison's OPS stands at 858. That's on base plus slugging, 858, and that would rank first among all National League third basemen. It's not just the average. The slugging, and ball headed up the middle, and another hit. Len, wide turn and a little trouble there, and Gomez guns that ball supposedly towards second.
They would have made it,
almost picked off Rob Drake.
There's no way to see the future and know that throw is going to be wide. But he took an aggressive turn, thought about it right about now, and said no. But if he knew that the throw was going to take weeks, 10 feet off the bag, he would have went ahead and made it. That's why it's so important for an outfielder. Just get the ball coming in.
Yeah.
Because the runner can't tell whether the ball's on line or not. So if the ball is on its way towards second base, most of the time you're going to stop him.
Here's Marte. Harrison 17 stolen bases. Lucroy has thrown out 22%. And opponents have swiped 9 bags in 13 attempts against Gallardo.
Kutch on deck. Has hit Gallardo well last couple seasons.
It was a rare swing and a pitch out of the zone from Marte. Well, that was routine the first half of the season.
Yeah, he would never lay off a ball like that, but he has cut that way back, chasing pitches like this.
Clint Hurdle puts him up in the 2 spot of the order, thinking of maybe the Harrison-Marte-McCutchen combination could do some damage against Gallardo. Third baseman Ramirez even with the bag. 0-2. Marte has hit safely in 13 of his last 14 games. His OPS since August the 5th is over 1,000. He's hitting 400 in September. 2 for 4 last night with the home run, his 13th of the year. Fastball fouled back. Gallardo has given up 20 home runs, by the way, since coming off the disabled list, that August 5th date. 364 batting average. That OPS.
Yeah, if I recall, when he was in his rehab assignments, he really wasn't hitting them well down there.
Still a lot of concern about Harrison over there.
Well, a lot of times, 0-2, that's when you want to try and throw a bad breaking ball. And what's the best pitch to run on? Bad breaking ball.
Another 0-2 pitch, another foul, fastball back.
Like Gallardo, the last two fastballs trying to reach back for a little extra. And they hit 93 a couple of times.
Again, Lucroy has thrown out 22% trying to steal. Another throw over.
Jay might have been running on that one. A little bit of a flinch. I think Gallardo has a little bit of a balk move. Way he just ever so slightly flinches his knees before he comes over.
Pitch out this time. Now, is a great time to go right after a pitch out, do you think, Bob? If you're going to be going. How rare are back-to-back pitch outs? That never happens, does it?
It happens, but it's
very rare.
Pretty darn rare.
Struck him out looking. Marte not in agreement. Third strikeout for Gallardo.
Marte doesn't like it. Thought it was inside. Take a look and see by the Point Park University strike zone that it was right on the corner. Joe made the correct call on that one.
Now McCutchen, who tripled into the left center gap with 2 outs in the first.
Well, it wasn't a check swing, that's for sure. He let that one fly.
He's had a couple home runs this season off of Gallardo.
I don't think he was just trying to poke a ball to right field through the hole. A big rip.
Checks his swing and rolls it to the right side. Might get an infield hit. He will. Weeks playing over towards second. The big hole on the right side and a check swing base hit for McCutchen.
He had the big swing, came up empty. This time he does get the check swing, but he gets a base hit out of it. When you got speed, even your mistakes can turn into a knock. Well, Weeks doesn't even, well, he's playing up the middle anyway, but Weeks doesn't even try here. He just thinks, well, better look behind me, see what Harrison's doing. Maybe he's going to third. I can throw him out. So now we'll see what kind of adjustments Walker is going to make from that first at bat, where they were trying to throw him everything upstairs, fastballs, ended up jamming the heck out of him and went in on his hands.
The shift on Walker.
Where the cat and mouse be.
Yeah.
Does Gallardo stay with what worked that first time up?
Or does he think that Walker will make an adjustment and then does he change?
Exactly. He changed. Went off speed on him first pitch downstairs.
Fastball for strike 2.
First time up, everything was upstairs.
Upstairs, downstairs.
Yeah, you got to know your hitter. Who makes adjustments, who stays with what they're doing all night long. You got to learn those things. And apparently they have respect for Walker making those in-game adjustments. They're deciding to go somewhere different this time. Another curveball down. Right on the bottom edge of the knees.
Making them work. Part of the game plan.
Keeps the hitters guessing. You're not real sure. Of course, the same thing that you can say about hitters, you can say about pitchers. Who changes? Who doesn't? That's what's called learning the league. Whether it's the hitters or the pitchers, you're keeping your own book.
Well, he's off this high fastball.
That's what he fed him almost exclusively that first at bat.
Gallardo has limited Walker over the years to a .242 average.
I always thought it would be great if you could read the minds of both the pitcher and hitter in moments like that. It might be hilarious.
Yeah. Might not be anything like what we're thinking,
yeah,
right?
Yeah.
What they're thinking.
Might be, I can't hit this guy, and then the pitcher's thinking, I have nothing to get him out. They know each other well.
Yeah.
35 at bats. And they both changed over those at bats too. Gallardo's become a little bit different pitcher. Walker a different type of hitter. Set the home run mark this year for second baseman. Been batting cleanup most of the time.
Another fastball up.
Early in the career, he was more like a number 2 guy, kind of just spray the ball around.
.296 hitter with runners in scoring position, Neil Walker. Finds this foul. A 7-pitch at bat so far for Neil Walker against Gallardo, who was out in front 0-2. Now the count even. Pops this ball up toward the seats. Reynolds going to go over, take a look, out of play. Well, Walker will see yet another pitch.
Yeah, that was the pitch that they got him out with last time. They threw up and in on him and were able to jam him. This time he was able to get the head of the bat to it, drive it very high, and keep it foul.
Gallardo has thrown everything he has at Walker in this at bat. 9th pitch.
He might go back to something from the earlier in the at bat. Go back downstairs now.
Got him. He strikes out Walker. Wins that battle. The Pirates have stranded 4 through the first 3 innings. Tony Sanchez made one of the best catches you'll ever see. The Pirates catcher that afternoon goes over the railing into the opposing dugout against the Padres. Pirates would beat the Padres 10-1. Garrett Cole struck out a career-high 12, but Pirates were well on their way to victory. Game was out of hand, and Tony Sanchez did not concede anything.
You know, catcher's heart. That's a catcher's dream, right?
Yeah.
Fall into a dugout, making a catch like that. They're tough guys. You got to be tough to play that position.
Speaking of tough guys, Russell Martin, and at the plate, Jonathan Lucroy. Lucroy hitting over 370 against the Pirates this season. RBI single in the first. 68 ribbies on the year. Here comes Josh Harrison again.
Nice and smooth.
Already with 5 assists. One up and one down. I'm going to send along a happy birthday wish to Ed Petro, 95 today. Ed from Uniontown. His daughter Sandy Tracy asked us to pass that along, so happy birthday, Ed. Long-time Pirates fan. Ramirez sharply hit, and who else? Harrison, nice play.
Got lefty on the mound. It's going to be a busy night for third and short.
The last 4 balls put in play have been hit to Josh Harrison. In fact, make it 5 balls put in play, because Locke struck out the last 2 men he faced in the second. Well, Harrison very busy.
Got that ball up on the hill of the glove a little bit, but stayed there. Soft hands.
Ramos Ramirez, former Pirate third baseman, has twice grounded out to Jay Hay. 6 assists already, 2 outs in the 4th inning. Ground ball to third. How about this? This is wild. My goodness. 4 straight ground ball outs to third. From Pirates family and Pirates fans for Kent Colvey outside on Federal Street before the game. A lot of well wishes going Teague's way, and Anxious to see Teague once again. Yep.
Can't wait to get you back, Teague.
Yep, going to be fun. Teague comes back. It'll be a big day. First pitch, strike to Martin. Going 2.
Russell asking if that was a called strike or was it on the swing.
It's so funny when hitters do that. Ask them for the appeal. They don't reverse it.
Never have.
No.
But they still ask.
They still do it.
Why?
Do you think catchers do it more often at the plate than other? I bet you they do. It's just a natural instinct to point.
Ask him.
Yeah.
He'll tell you I didn't go.
Yep.
The reason for that is because to call a strike on a swing, you have to assume that he's calling the strike because he saw that with his own eyes. So that's why you don't ask on that, because the umpire, in a sense, has already said, I saw it with my eyes. It was a strike. You swung. So you don't ask on that. Now, when he doesn't make a call,
the reversal.
When he just calls a ball, he's not saying he saw it.
Right.
All he is saying is, I saw where the ball was, and it was outside the strike zone. Now, whether he swung a night, I'm not sure about that.
Right.
I didn't see that. So that's why you can appeal that, but you can't appeal a swing. Believe all that?
By the time the strike has been called by the home plate umpire, it's too late, because again, that first or third base umpire won't reverse it.
It doesn't matter anyway.
But the natural reaction of a catcher is to point toward one of the umps, because he's been behind the plate asking time and time again to get the umpires on the corners to rule a swing. Got him looking. Martin didn't agree with that. Not happy at all with Joe West.
You can't hardly say anything, though, because you're going to want that same pitch later on. Yeah, a little bit like a pitcher.
Joe West rings him up. And now 5 strikeouts for Gallardo. 3 looking. Travis Snider caught looking in the second. And Gallardo out in front. 0-2. Slap foul by Snider. Packed house on a Friday night. Pirates home attendance coming into tonight, 2,326,913. Two nights ago, the Pirates surpassed last year's total. This will be the 21st sellout of the year. And a base hit to right center for Snider. Let's see if he thinks 2. Nicely done by Braun. Get to the gap. 1 out base hit for Snider.
Well, we need to group some of these hits together. Have 5 hits now. Put 3 of them together.
Travis Snyder, the 1-out single into the right center gap as Braun gets it in quickly.
Off balance throw just to get the ball coming back towards second base. Stop the runner.
Won the count. Sanchez, a broken bat single to right field, his first at bat against Gallardo. And that's a double play ball. But wide by Weeks. Weeks had all day to get a throw off.
And not only did he not get the double play, but now there's, because of the throw, there's a runner in scoring position. See now if the Pirates can capitalize. And these are the kind of plays. Remember we were talking about this in the very first inning where every little thing can be under a microscope.
5th error of the season on.
I'm not sure this is a horrible throw though. I don't think it was a great catch. I think it actually passed in between his glove and his body. Reynolds.
Jordy Mercer. Now Snyder will get to third. Again with 2 outs on the wild pitch. We talked earlier about Gallardo. The wild pitch has thrown 7 now.
Well, there wasn't much that could have been done to stop that one. Just got the very edge of the glove and went sideways. Now LaCroix down, good shape. Got that one. Russell's still not smiling, is he? That was almost the exact same place on the glove. That ball hit, that one stayed, the other one bounced off to the side.
They're going to intentionally walk Mercer with Jeff Locke on deck.
Well, they would have liked to have gotten Mercer out for the last thing, have Locke leading off, but I can understand why they're deciding to do this, not take any chances. Even if Locke makes it out here, gets the inning over. Now they got Jay to deal with leading off next inning. That's a scenario that they would prefer to not have. But they didn't want to throw a strike to Mercer and let him maybe tie the ball game. All right, Locke. I think it's Wainwright out there. Little soft line drive over Segura's head.
Will be his first career RBI. He has 11 career hits in 105 at bats.
You know, one of the things I think some pitchers would be better off served if they just went up and swung 3 times.
Why not?
And hope that one of those 3 times is going to be a fastball right down the middle.
Yep. Like that one.
And I'll tell you why. Not now.
Runner was taking off from first.
Sports is brought to you by Barrel Automotive. We're driven to be better. And by Levin Mattress, located in all Levin furniture showrooms and freestanding stores. Let's go Bucks!
1-0 to the 5th inning. Looks like the whole family out there. And a free shirt Friday, as voted on by the fans, that design. It's been a popular promotion over the years.
It's got to be one of the most popular that we've ever had. Think of some other ones great that are like Beach Towel Night. Remember that was big for a while?
Yeah, that was. Ski Cap Night.
Was that one big?
It was pretty big.
It's not as big as Beach Towel Night.
Probably not.
No, I don't think so. Cup Night. Huge.
That's always a big promotion. Ricky Weeks, 6th in the lineup, bounced to Josh Harrison. Harrison has been very busy. 7 assists for the Pirates' third baseman. The Pirate record is 11. Toward the gap in left center field, hit a long way. And a line drive home run for Ricky Weeks.
That ball's absolutely a rocket.
His 7th of the year.
I mean, I was watching McCutchen, and he was on his horse digging hard. He thought that was extra bases. And the ball ends up in the Pirate bullpen, not even in the Brewer bullpen. That was a 2-iron.
Two 2-0 Brewers as Weeks crushes his 7th of the year.
Well, he had to have some great backspin on this ball. It just refused to come down, kept carrying. All the way into the back bullpen.
Ooh. His 2nd this season against the Pirates, and he is 10 for 26 against Pirates pitching this season. And there's Harrison again. Mark Reynolds will be retired as Josh Harrison has his 8th assist, 3 shy of the team record. Locke gives up his 15th home run of the season, and the Brewers have the 2-0 lead.
Yeah, right now Brewers are playing like their backs are against the wall. Getting a great effort from Gallardo. He's giving up 5 hits, but he's scattering them out a little bit. And right now they're doing just enough on offense. Took the lead in the first. Now they're able to add 1 on. Good change up from Locke.
Toward right and at Snyder. Two away. Last Kids Day of the season this Sunday, 1:35. All kids 14 and younger will get a knit ski cap thanks to Highmark. And we invite you to come early for the #1 Cochran Family Fun Zone on Federal Street. And stay after the game. Kids can run the bases, presented by Kennywood. For tickets, go to pirates.com. Gallardo up the middle. Line single up the middle for Gallardo.
Kind of having a little fun with the dugout. That ball right off the end of the bat probably didn't feel very good. Anytime you get that ball off the end of the bat, that can't feel good on your hands. That's why he was messing around with the dugout. All the hitters know what that feels like.
Gomez hit on the foot by a pitch in the 3rd inning and was caught stealing. 1 ball, 1 strike on Carlos Gomez. Flied out to start the ball game. The first pitch of the game, he flied out to center.
He cut down on a swing just a little bit, maybe.
I was just about to say that. That last swing is not what we used to see earlier in the year with him. And he is hit again on the foot.
Looked like, I think that hit his elbow pad. Just nicked the elbow pad.
Joe West held it right away. So 2 on for Ryan Braun. Doubled and scored in the 1st, grounded out in the 3rd. The way Gallardo is pitching, this is a critical moment here. Just the 5th inning, but you don't want the Brewers to add on here.
No, they've already added 1 on. A little bit of a dangerous moment in this game.
First pitch strike to Braun.
Braun did not like that call, but Gallardo's been getting the same call, going, hey, it's been a decent sized strike zone. The edges have been called. Joe West's been very consistent with that tonight.
Gallardo singled with 2 outs. He's at second. Gomez hit by the pitch at first. Braun has driven in 81 on the year. Martin's going to talk with Locke. Hearing that a lot of teams have been doing this much of the season with Braun. Bust him in, as word was coming into this series anyway, that Braun has hit seemingly everything the other way. Not pulling, but he did double into the left center field gap in the 1st.
Hitting like a number 2 man.
Yeah. Jared Hughes up in the Pirates bullpen.
He's been missing by quite a bit inside, as he did there.
West said he went. Braun said, why didn't you check?
And the answer is, because I saw you swing. Oh, so that's why. Very perfect view of what Joe saw.
Broken bat, bouncer foul. Stays 2-2 on Braun.
How about that catch by Robbie there?
What? No, he didn't make the
fabulous
catch. Come
play.
on. No,
backhand grab. It was outstanding.
Let's see for sure.
Check it out. Check it out.
Look at Health Network.
Look at him go to a backhand. Go to the backhand.
Oh, baby.
Nice.
Robbie. Without question, the catch of the year, and I think his best catch of his career.
I'm about 1 for about 50.
That is
I'll
a
cherish
great
the
catch.
one that I have.
Have you seen the Allegheny Health Network Supermo yet of that?
Yeah, it usually gets replayed when I miss it or when I dodge it, so I'm thankful to the guys in the truck for showing this one.
Look, Volk has created a little interference too.
Even a broken clock is right twice a day. Just remember that.
That's
okay?
right. Wow. What a play. Two on, 2 outs, 2-2 count. Well, Robbie thought you were going to get another shot over there.
I think Jay-Hay's going to get another shot. Coming your way, Jay-Hay. They're going to keep working him inside. Braun trying to get him out of there. Just feel that ground ball to third coming. Will he take it to the bag himself, or will he make a throw? I mean, that's
read my mind. I was thinking
the only question
Got to throw.
There could be right now. We know where this ball's going.
Line foul.
Well, if it's a liner, he doesn't have to do anything but give it to a fan.
Keep working. Braun in. Harrison ready with 8 assists tonight. 3 shy of the team record set back in 1995 at Olympic Stadium. June 25th. Kevin Young was playing third base that day. Kevin Young, by the way, is here tonight. The ballpark. 2-2. The count remains on Braun. Popped them up. And Gabby Sanchez will put it away. Good work from Locke. He gives up the leadoff home run to Weeks. 2-0 Brewers. Harrison will lead things off. We talk about the fact that Harrison is just 3 shy of the team record for assists in a single game, and there's the man that owns the Pirates record, Kevin Young. Talking with Dave Arrigo, the team photographer. Father Bill Schwartz is sitting in front of him, and Jay Hay steps to the plate.
KY always a very slick fielder, no matter where you put him. Some outstanding years with the glove over at first base.
KY. A lot of third coming up, and first base. There's Father Bill telling him that he has the record.
He's a good guy. A lot of leadership skills.
There it is. That's exactly. Father Bill just asked me. He said, "Who's got the record?" There, wave it. He said, "Kevin Young's got the record. He's sitting behind you." One ball, 1 strike on Josh Harrison. Thinking about hits now, not the defense, though he has been so solid over there. Bounces it right back to Gallardo. And let's head back to the studio for another game break. Boy, is it ever. The Royals Had first place for a while in that Central Division of the American League. They own one of the 2 wild card spots with Oakland, but Seattle chasing a game back. And that big head-to-head series between the Tigers and the Royals taking place tonight, the first of 3 at Kauffman Stadium. Marte has bounced out and struck out looking. Gallardo has scattered 5 hits. Looks to be the typical Gallardo when it comes to facing the Pirates. You can throw out the numbers, games he's pitched in the past. Last 5 starts coming in with an 0-4 record, 5.26 ERA. Trying to win his 13th career game against the Pirates. 1-0-2 count on Marte. Struck him out. Seventh strikeout. And Marte scolded there by Joe West.
Second time he's taken that same walk after taking a strike 3. Not happy. Remember, the last one was on the inside corner. And this one was right at the knees.
The pitch was down, said Marte.
Still looking for that something special tonight. Get the crowd going in the game. Get everyone screaming.
Gallardo ahead of McCutchen, 0-2.
Well, the thing with Gallardo tonight, the control has just been amazing. Just living right on the edges of the strike zone all night long and getting some calls from Joe. But if he's had trouble getting his pitches down, it certainly is not showing up tonight. Seems like he can throw the ball pretty much wherever he wants to.
A mock cheer from the crowd when that pitch in the dirt was called a ball.
Yeah.
McCutchen has tripled and reached on the infield check swing single. Wow. Yovani Gallardo striking out 8. 2-0 Brewers. Offense has been held to 5 hits. Has struck out 8 times against Giovanni Gallardo. The Brewers scored a run in the first. An RBI single by Jonathan Lucroy, and then a home run by Ricky Weeks in the 5th. Looking good, huh?
Yeah, I want that one on the right there. I have to take that one, huh? Make sure it's done now.
Boy, that looking good, Clark. Strike on Lucroy. Ball and 1 strike. Lucroy, Ramirez, Chris Davis here in the 6th against Locke. Milwaukee Brewers trying desperately to stay alive in the race after dropping 2 of 3 in St. Louis. This road trip that started in St. Louis with a 3-2 win in 12 innings, but then Adam Wainwright shut them out the night before last, and they lost 3-2 in 13 last night. Line drive, right center field. Let's go back to the studio for a game break. All right, Rob, thanks. We'll keep tabs on that one. Obviously, the Giants are taking on the Padres tonight. The Giants have a 2-game lead on the Pirates for the top wild card spot. Ramirez has twice grounded to Josh Harrison. Jay Hay with 8 assists in this game. Ground ball to Harrison. There's his 9th assist. There's 1 out and 2 outs. Well, the most popular way to follow the Pirates' push to the postseason is with MLB.com at Bat, the #1 app for live baseball. Enjoy live look-ins, replay reviews, scores, live radio broadcasts, the MLB.tv game of the day, and more. Get at Bat for your smartphone or tablet on the App Store or visit MLB.com. Josh Harrison, 9 assists at third base, 2 shy of the team record. Going back to 1995, talked about it, Kevin Young, and ironically, the third base umpire that day.
Joe West.
Yes.
How about that?
Joe West was right there, watching Kevin Young gobble up all those ground balls. Esteban Loaiza was the Pirate starter, as he and Jason Christensen and Dan Maselli shut out the Expos.
Well, I was trying to think who might be. I was trying to think lefties, because that's when that normally would happen. But
well, now KY getting texts from all of his buddies. Oh, 0-2 on Davis. And Locke strikes him out. Well, give Locke a lot of credit. He has pitched well, trailing 2-0. Fabulous images from the Allegheny Health Network. Supermo 2-0 going to the bottom of the 6th inning. See, Bob Walk is in the house. I bet you another walk is in the house.
There's John, his beautiful wife Nikki sitting next to him. Nikki's birthday today.
Oh, it's a nice birthday present from John.
Did I bring my boys up right? Where do you take your wife on your birthday? Bring them to the ball game.
Walker retired on the first pitch. Rookie week. So Johnny, who is the middle son.
Yep. John tried to play baseball himself for a little while, but
he did play for a while in the Pirate system.
Down in got as high as Hickory, and then decided to retire.
Did he announce that retirement?
Yes, he did. He announced it to me. But they're having a great time, I'm sure, here tonight on Nikki's birthday.
John Walk. Nice seats, by the way.
Yeah,
you and Blass, I'll tell you.
It's birthday time, and you got to splurge.
Saw Blass in those Lexus Club seats with his grandson a couple of homestands back. Well, now Tommy and Ronnie are going to be hitting you up for some seats now.
I didn't get those.
Yes, you did. Come on.
No, that's no, Johnny.
What? Holding up for those?
Oh yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. He's a good husband. He went first class
nice.
Tonight.
Very nice.
He went for dinner in the Lexus Club, the whole 9 yards.
2-1 count on Martin. He has popped up and struck out looking.
Grandma's at home watching Jake.
She doesn't mind that at all.
Nope.
Blass's Lexus Club seats are empty now.
They're empty, yeah. Well, Steve didn't give the tickets away in time for him. He said it. Those are season tickets, aren't
yes.
they?
Well, 90 pitches, so Gallardo would not be around for the complete game.
Would like to get into the bullpen. I'm tired of seeing him out there. I mean, this is not what I expected.
This is old Gallardo stuff against the Pirates.
I mean, looking at what he has, been doing in the past with the 4 games in a row, they've been 0-4. He said himself that his control hasn't been good. Everything's been up in the strike zone. He can't get the ball down where he wants to. But tonight, he's throwing the ball pretty much everywhere he wants to.
He has struck out 9. I believe that is a season high.
You just never know, from game to game. It's so hard to predict what somebody might do, how they're going to react to a big game condition. Well, he has stepped up. The team badly needs him right now, and he's doing everything possible to win this game.
Seven straight men retired by Gallardo. He has struck out 4 of the last 6 he's faced. His career high in strikeouts, 14. Punched out 14 buckos 2 years ago. And bounce to first. Reynolds will lead Gallardo to the bag. Pirates retired in order. 2-0 through 6. Inside Pirates baseball, Rick Sofield works the players and the crowd with some fun pregame antics. The team makes a visit to Banksville Elementary on Clemente Day and much more. A new Inside Pirates baseball presented by Allegheny Health Network debuts tonight after postgame on Root Sports. 2-0 Brewers. Yvonne Gallardo has the shutout going. He has pitched brilliantly. 9 punch-outs for Gallardo. Mark it down. Ricky Weeks, a strike. He homered in the 5th. Due up 4th this inning. Popped up. McCutcheon. 1 down. Locke being overshadowed by Gallardo tonight. But you take away that, again, tainted run in the 1st inning where Braun would have been out had Neil Walker held on to the throw from Marte. Braun was wild pitched to 3rd and then came in on the Lucroy base hit. He gave up that home run to Weeks. That's been it. Hits even at 5 apiece.
He made some really nice pitches tonight. He also talked about Gallardo able to throw the ball where he wants to. Pretty much that's been Locke's story. You look at that pitch that he just popped Weeks up on. Fastball, got it in far enough, right on the edge of the plate, so you get the lazy pop fly. A soft out. That's what it's all about. That ball is you miss with that out about maybe another 3 or 4 inches out into the heart of the plate, and that's the ball Weeks could possibly hit into the bullpen again.
Two count on Reynolds. This will be it for Locke. Even though he's thrown only 78 pitches, he's due up 3rd in the bottom of the 7th. The Pirates have to get something going offensively. Still 2-2 on the veteran Mark Reynolds, who struck out for the 122nd time in the 2nd inning.
Run down, get me one of those, will you, Frank?
Yep, on my way. Hit well to left. Back is Marte. Nicely done by Marte to the track. What, the AT&T fan photo, the look from
to UPMC strike zone.
Yeah,
I like it.
Made it himself from Maine.
Maine, all right. Looked like it was on the woodshed.
Yeah.
Inside the woodshed. Yeah, I guess you got to have a lot of wood in Maine, huh? Here it gets cold up there.
Better ask Adam. Adam Elmore. A maniac.
Yeah, you got to have a lot of wood and fill your steins.
Into center. Oh, that is it. Boy, what a performance by Jeff Locke. You would think unless the Pirates get their first 2 men on base and maybe looking for a bunt, that could be it for Jeff Locke. But tremendous work, down 2-0. See if the Pirates can get something going against Yvonne Gallardo in the bottom of the 7th inning. We're to keep it here for Take Me Out to the Ball Game.
And join everyone watching at home on Root Sports as we sing Take Me Out to the Ball Game.
pitcher's duel, and Gallardo has come out on top. Jeff Locke allowing the 2 runs on 5 hits, a home run by Ricky Weeks in the 5th. 95th pitch of the game for Gallardo is a foul ball. Gabby Sanchez had a broken bat single in the 2nd. Locke and Charlie Morton. On deck, Jordy Mercer, and then Ike Davis is in the hole.
Does this guy have a pitch count? Let's get somebody up in that Brewer bullpen, huh?
Pirates bullpen, John Holtzcomb. But nothing going.
No.
The Brewers bullpen.
Closing in on 100 pitches.
Through 121 pitches against the Pirates. June the 8th here in 7 innings against the Pirates. That's his season high.
Now, the way you look at it at this time of year, Greg, I guess is you have all winter to rest. Do what you have to do now.
A win tonight would get the Brewers to within 2.5 of the Pirates. And that second wild card. Mike Fiers has been excellent. He will not pitch this series. And a shot to third and a pick by Ramirez. And throws high. And a safe call as Gabby Sanchez went down to the slide.
A great job by Gabby because he avoids any kind of a tag that way. You don't know if Davis might come down and it's heck with the bag. It could tag you on top of your helmet. So the best thing you can do is try to flatten out so that you can't get tagged. At the same time, maybe you can sneak your foot in before it hits the bag. Plenty of time and throw way up high.
Well done by Gabby Sanchez.
Yeah. He saw what's happening, and you can see Davis trying to bring the glove down to make some kind of attack, but Gabby not only got himself down, he leaned out toward the infield side to avoid it.
Boy, wouldn't it be something if this error opens the door for the Pirates? Sanchez aboard, and the batter Jordy Mercer. Second error of the night for the Brewers, the 10th of the year for Ramirez. It's the first time the Pirates have had their leadoff man on against Gallardo. They've had base runners, but first time the leadoff man has gotten on. Now the bullpen is going to get going for Milwaukee.
You know, I've been looking for some kind of a big hit, maybe a home run to ignite something, really get the crowd into it. How about if what ignites this inning is that little slide to avoid that tag at first base? That could be it.
Jeremy Jeffers is warming up. Jordy Mercer hitting .321 this month of September with a .953 OPS. We're talking about the on-base plus slugging. He has a little 4-game hitting streak going. He was robbed of extra bases by Ryan Braun in the second inning in a drive toward the right field corner. Was walked intentionally his last time. Checks, takes ball 3. Boy, what a big pitch this will be.
That was a pretty good pitch right there to lay off of. Comes this curveball. It looks like it's going to be a strike. Falls out of the zone right at the end.
Man.
Jordy able to say no thank you.
3-2. Nobody out. Down 2. Davis to follow as the pinch hitter. Big time pitch here from Gallardo. Got him. He strikes out Jordy Mercer. 10th of the night.
They went back to the same pitch, breaking ball. Actually, this one is not as good as the one that Jordy was able to lay off of. This one missed the strike zone by quite a bit.
Rick Kranitz, the pitching coach, out. A 10 strikeout performance for Gallardo. Most punch-outs this season. Sellout crowd, no surprise, 37,974. It is the 21st sellout of the season, and it inches the Pirates closer to breaking the all-time single-season attendance record that was set when this ballpark opened in 2001.
Kevin Young was on that team, right? A lot of Kevin Young tie-ins tonight. I like it.
Mike Davis did not start tonight. And Clint Hurdle looked at those splits against Gallardo. Lefties hit .228, righties .281. And Davis 0 for 8 lifetime against Gallardo. Ball 1.
Davis will be patient. He'll make Gallardo threw the ball in the strike zone.
Well, let's hope so. Wouldn't that be nice? We're talking about igniting a crowd. If Davis can get a hold of one. Strike.
Well, again, Gallardo just painting with everything he's got. Fastballs, curveball, doesn't matter what he's throwing up there. He's been able to stay on the edge of the zone. That time right at the knees. Clear the deck, please.
Yeah. Ball and 2 strikes on Davis. Pinch hitting for Jeff Locke. Perhaps Gallardo reaching the end of the line, trying to finish off the Pirates. 108 pitches thrown by Gallardo.
Yeah, Greg, I wonder if we had a plot of every pitch Gallardo has thrown tonight in the strike zone up there. How many of his 109 pitches so far would the baseball be entirely inside the strike zone? My guess is not all that many. I mean, look, here he's thrown 4 pitches. He hadn't put one entirely inside the strike zone yet.
Another.
Again, everything is on the edge. Upper edge, bottom edge, in, out. Now, he has, of course, thrown some in there, but I can't believe that the total would be very many.
In the last 9 games of Brewers pitchers, ERA of 1.73, including tonight. Davis Taking his time, Joe West is saying get in there. He strikes out Davis. 11 punch outs for Gallardo.
Now that pitch was the only pitch he threw inside the strike zone. That was the best pitch he had to hit. On the outside half of the plate, about belt high. Up to Chehe now.
Headed up the middle, diving stop, Segura. He robs Harrison of a hit. And 7 shutout innings for Gallardo. A 5-hit shutout. Defense let him down a bit at the start of the inning, but at the end it was Gene Segura.
Yeah, really hasn't needed a ton of great plays tonight, but that was a very strong play by Segura.
Beats Gabby Sanchez to the bag, and Gallardo loved that play. Josh Harrison knows he was robbed.
Yeah, the emotions got to be running pretty high for everybody tonight, but I think especially true of the Brewers after last night's tough loss.
Mike Davis, who pinch hit for Locke, stays in the game for Gabby Sanchez. Scooter Gennett will pinch hit. He bats for Gallardo. He faces John Holtzcomb, the new Pirates pitcher. John Holtzcomb has continued to amaze. It's his 7th big league appearance. And to the shortstop, Mercer, who Tires Jeanette. Let's go downstairs to Robbie and Smikowski.
Yeah, so last night it was a 13-inning game in St. Louis for the Brewers. Game ended about 12:45 Eastern time, and by the time they flew here and bust downtown, it was about 4:45. That means bedtime was after 5 in the morning, and I asked Scooter Jeanette about the last 24 hours or so, and he said, while it wasn't a good result last night, they did play good baseball. They just didn't get the timely hit. But the late travel, that did not make their night any better. So despite the fact last night, Greg, they used 8 pitchers, but manager Ron Renicky said their bullpen is still totally intact for tonight. No reliever threw more than an inning, and they had an off day on Monday and have another one coming up this Monday. So it appears to be business as usual, except for the fact they're playing what they might refer to as a must-win series.
There's the Carlos Gomez swing we're used to. Thank you, Robbie. And you wondered if, though his bullpen is intact, whether Renicky would think about going to someone other than Jonathan Broxton, who blew the save last night in relief of Kyle Loesch. Broxton has really struggled against the Pirates. He had been with the Reds and was traded a few weeks ago to the Brewers, but it will be Broxton in the bottom of the 8th. And I guess if you're the Pirates, you say anybody but Gallardo. Last night, bullpen. Broxton, again, the blown save, though that Mark Reynolds' mental lapse hurt.
Yeah, but that hurt, but still.
They still didn't get
the outs.
2
walks, a couple of hits. I mean, let's say he went to second base with that, and there was a little bit of a wide throw over at first, and they don't get the double play. That's not a routine double play to get.
He walked in the tying run with the bases loaded.
And nobody would really say anything about it. They wouldn't say, "Oh, that blew the game." The fact is that they didn't pick him up. I mean, that's got to be talked about too. He still got an out.
No question.
It wasn't like it was just a straight error. So it was. You can't really look at Reynolds and say, "Okay, pin everything on him."
Still 1-2 on Gomez, and they had opportunities to win the game in extra innings. Gomez struck out with the bases loaded. Gomez had the bases loaded and on a 1-1 pitch tried to bunt and ended up offering it a pitch in the dirt, then swung and missed at a pitch in the dirt last night. Ricky Weeks has homered in this ball game. It was a big one. Leadoff home run in the 5th. Gomez making it tough on Holtzcomb. Stays 2-2.
Yeah, the first few times we saw Holtzcomb, almost every fastball he threw had cut action, where it would move from his right to left.
Popped it up. Shallow left. Here comes Marte.
But I bring that up because a lot of the fastballs he's been throwing of late have had the other effect. They've actually gone from left to right, tailing in on the righties. Now that one got right down the middle. It shows you a little something about the stuff. And get away with one center cut. It's always a little scattering report on how good your pitch is, what kind of character it has. Well, they're talking about it right now, what everything was doing.
Braun takes ball 1. Braun has doubled and grounded out and popped up.
That had a nice little cut movement to it. 95-mile-an-hour cutter. Watch a little slight movement from right to left, especially toward the end of its flight.
Ball 2 strikes on Ryan Braun with 2 outs, top of the 8th. The bottom half of the 8th inning, Starling Marte will be leading things off. Then Andrew McCutchen and Neil Walker. Jonathan Lucroy, a couple of hits. Oh, Braun might have gotten that call. No, it was inside. But movement there again.
Just missed.
Smidgen. 3-2. Walked him. Bring up Jonathan Lucroy now.
And this one also missing just a little bit inside. They had to cut action, but wouldn't come back quite far enough. Now, I think there's a chance that Braun would run here.
He has stolen 11 bases in 16 tries. And here again, this John Holtzcomb story. You're in a pennant race trying to beat the Brewers. 8th inning, 2-0 game. And Clint Hurdle goes to the man who was pitching in the independent leagues for half this season.
Now, the way he's pitched up to this point, you certainly wouldn't know that if you're just
it's amazing.
Dropped out of the sky and watched his outings. They've been great to this point. Throwing a lot of strikes, good stuff.
Whoa.
I think that was just his second walk, isn't it?
I think so.
Since he's been a Pirate. And that is what I think everybody is waiting for. Looking at his past, there's been wildness there.
That last pitch, for example, we have not seen that much at all, but that was the wildness that he displayed for much of his professional career. Speaking of walks, Jeff Locke didn't walk a batter in 7 innings. And you go back to last night's start by Garrett Cole. No walks allowed by last night's starting pitcher. Cole went 7 innings, no walks. The first time since 2011 the Pirates have had back-to-back starters go 7 or more innings and not walk a man. Paul Maholm and Jeff Karstens. Toward right field, long run. Snyder there. Jonathan Broxton will be coming on. Our AT&T fan photo of the night. Happy Talk Like a Pirate Day from Elaine Brown. Happy Talk Like a Pirate Day, Bob.
Oh, thank you.
Did you know that today was the National Talk Like a Pirate Day?
Yes, I did. I've got a few texts and emails about that today.
Texts and emails about it. We'll get on board with the Pirates baseball in 2015. The Pirates now accepting deposits for full and partial season ticket memberships. Get access to exclusive events, the best locations and savings, and customize your membership. Plus, remember 2015 full season deposits. Get 2014 postseason priority. For more information, go to pirates.com/membership. Scooter Gennett stays in the game. He's at second. And it's Jonathan Broxton. Broxton, last time he faced the Buccos, lost as a member of the Reds. They have a couple of runs on 3 hits in his 1 inning of work here at PNC Park.
Yeah, career ERA against the Pirates of almost 5.
Broxton's 9th appearance with the Brewers, a 1.13 ERA with Milwaukee. Croy takes that foul ball off the mask. 1-2.
A little different style than what the Pirates have been used to for the first 7 innings. Broxton coming at him with the big fastball and just kind of trying to challenge him a little bit. Threw that one by Marte a little bit inside part of the plate. That's his game. Power fastball.
These two hooked up last year. April 14th, a go-ahead home run. 8th inning off of Jonathan Broxton by Starling Marte. Bucks would take just a hit here. Anything.
There you go, Greg. There's that pitch. 1-2, a little off the plate, just barely in the dirt. That would get a swing from Marte an awful lot of the time until the last couple of months.
Dribbler right side. Marte racing toward the bag. He's safe. Infield hit for Marte.
Look, Broxton looking at the dugout. He thinks he might have won that race.
So he will take his time before heading to the pitcher's mound so that they can check the replay. He checks it on the big board. Ron Renicky is going to come out.
At this point of the ball game, regardless of what kind of a thumb up or thumb down, he might challenge us no matter what. I don't see where there's any evidence right there that would overturn the call on the field. Very, very close.
They are going to challenge it.
Oh, here we go. This will be it right here, Greg. And it is
It's just there's no
safe.
way
He's safe.
that he's not safe.
Well,
Here's the call.
Safe. Yeah, there we go. Whew. I have been so positive before.
I know. But it's that close, and you have to. We've talked about it all year long.
Yeah.
You just hope that baseball gets it. That anything that close, you shouldn't even have to go to the replay. This thing was meant for obvious missed calls. Now we have to stop action in super slow-mo and 15 angles. So now Andrew McCutchen and a standing O. The crowd has not had a lot to cheer about, but they got to their feet. And McCutchen stepped to the plate. He's 4 for 10 lifetime against Broxton.
Coming at him. Hits over the fence. One of fans' favorite things to boo, isn't it? Pick off those.
Yep. Challenged him with high heat, and he struck him out.
Yeah, that was more than high heat.
One out in the 8th.
Watch how high this is. Look at the UPMC Sports Medicine strike zone. That ball way upstairs. Got a big time chase. It's probably up around maybe neck high. Need a hero. Who's it going to be?
Walker 1 for 6 lifetime against Broxton. 0 for 3 tonight. Balls behind. 2 balls, no strikes. This season, Broxton has a 4.05 earned run average against Pittsburgh, a 1.45 ERA against everybody else. His ERA here at PNC Park in his career is 10.80. He's 0-4 lifetime at PNC Park. Stark contrast to Gallardo's numbers here.
Well, we were hoping that the pitch count would get Gallardo out of the game. Maybe we'd get to see Broxton. He's in there now, but getting the matchup you want and doing something with it can be 2 different things.
The other way, line drive, base hit. First and second. We're going to have a pinch runner for Walker. It'll be Chase Darno.
Well, good job right there. That fastball down and away. You don't want to try and pull that. be a ground ball to second. Just lashes it the other direction.
Pirates put all their chips in here with Darno pinch running for Neil Walker, their cleanup hitter. They figure this is it.
It's like they just set all in.
Yep. Couldn't hold up. Martin 0 for 4 against Broxton in his career, former battery mate. Broxton with the Dodgers, Martin his catcher. Did he go? Very close.
Thank you. Look on the swing there, didn't it?
In the air toward right center field, nearing the wall. And it is gone! Russell Martin is homered! It's 3-2! Wow!
There's your hero. Right there.
They'll want the curtain call. They want their man out. They want Russell Martin. Does this feel like 2013 or what? Unbelievable. Unbelievable.
You never know who, Greg. 9 guys, double figures in home runs. Never happened before in the history of the franchise. It could be anybody in that lineup.
This place is on fire. The swing.
The belt high fastball outside half.
What a shot. Look at this shot. Look at this. The other way, and a base hit for Snyder. Jonathan Broxton would be just okay if he never came to the mound again against the Pittsburgh Pirates. Here's the pitch by pitch to Martin.
He had some movement on his fastballs going down and in. It really had Martin off stride a little bit, but then tried to go away. It just didn't get it out there. Look at the location of that pitch. Right where he didn't want to throw it.
Polanco runs for Snyder, and Andrew Lambeau will pinch hit for Gabby Sanchez. Super Russ, his 11th of the year, gives the Pirates this 3-2 lead in the bottom of the 8th. Incredible. And we asked this question when we saw Broxton warming up. I mean, he is their setup man. They traded for him, but you wonder if that's the right move. Ron Renicki's going to be, I mean, he's a good baseball man. He's a very successful manager, of course, but he's already been under fire. And when he brought Broxton in, I mean, you just got the sense that the Pirates had a great shot. And as he exits, we'll keep it here as the Pirate fans still numb after watching Russell Martin homer to give them the lead. Another look. The Super Mo wants the fans behind Martin. Look at that. Is that unbelievable?
It's like the playoffs have already started, Greg.
Look at that reaction of these baseball crazy fans in Pittsburgh. Look at that. They're not sure. Some think maybe a chance. Yes, it's gone. More looks. He's been there before, hasn't he? The home run on Cueto, the wild card game. And there is pandemonium in Pittsburgh.
Now there's a few guys that are the engines that drive this team. And everybody kind of, I think, naturally will look to a catcher, but especially one that plays with the heart and enthusiasm that he does, with the talent that he has, the way he helps his pitchers, the way he fields his position, and the way he just doesn't stop.
Lambeau now bats against Jeffers. He would love to get more, of course.
Yeah, I'd like to get about 3 more. Just no chances. Put this game away. I don't want any drama.
Yeah, you've had enough.
Yeah, enough drama.
You don't want any more, huh?
No more drama tonight.
Now, how much of this can we take?
Just start.
Ooh.
Just start.
Mark the Shark. And he'll carry you through here on Root Sports. 9 more to go after tonight. Lambeau goes the other way with a base hit.
Keep the line moving. Pretty good pitch. Got that ball downstairs. Although I think Lambeau, from what we've seen, likes the ball down.
Well, Mercer probably. Well, maybe not. It might bunt. Well, they're not expecting. Well, you're not going to bunt with 1 out anyway, right?
No, he's
I wouldn't
not
think, right? Talking about the infield back.
I'm going to hit a double here. Clear the bases.
Jonathan Broxton. It started with the infield hit to Marte, remember?
All right.
Marte got it going with the infield single.
All the weapons that he has, speed just one of them. He needs somebody to come up and really have that hero type at bat, and I don't know if we could have written a better script with a 3-run homer. Quiet dugout over there.
After what they went through last night.
Oh yeah, it's just they certainly feel the season slipping away. They were in first place for such a long time, all year.
And this great start by Gallardo that they needed.
Yeah, they're the guy that's been the leader of their pitching staff for a long, long time now. He went out there and pitched just like he was in his prime. It was a masterful work. Maybe not throwing as hard as he used to, but the control was incredible.
Two outs. When you go back to August 25th, these two clubs, the contrast. The Brewers are going 7-16. The Pirates 15-7. Pirates hitting 40 points better. ERA 2 runs better. And the Brewers went from first to third.
So you're going to play some good baseball when you have a 2.20 team ERA.
There's a 5-hit shutout coming into this inning. The Pirates have scored 3, 5 hits. The big one, the Russell Martin home run over the right center field fence. A stunned Ron Renicky. Mike Davis pinch hit in the 7th inning and struck out against Gallardo. The Brewers in the 9th inning have a Ramos Ramirez, Chris Davis, and the pitcher spot due up. Now looking at the scouting reports.
Yeah, I mean he's turning pages right now, but that's what he has to do in his position. He has to turn the page. The big hero home run is over with now. He's got to be thinking about Melancon and who's coming up. That's the thing about that catcher's position. There's no time to just sit there and enjoy the moment. You have 2 jobs.
Hoping that his teammates can add to the lead he has provided. Turning a 2-0 deficit into a 3-2 lead with that one big swing. Close again, and now 3-2. Jeffers wanted that one.
It was outside. Wouldn't been back in for him.
Polanco and Lambo will be off on the pitch. Josh Harrison on deck. Jeffress replacing Broxton, looking for the final out. And up the middle, a base hit for Ike Davis. 4-2 Buccos.
Not as big and as exciting as that 3-run home run, but in its own way, this is just as big a hit, getting this insurance run home. Just the ground ball through the middle.
Segura slow to get up.
A little breaking ball, tried to backdoor it, put it right over the outside corner, slaps it straight up the middle.
Scores Polanco from second.
Came down very hard, probably knocked the wind out. Fell heavily on his diaphragm there, you see. He was just trying everything he could to try and smother that baseball.
It has been a very difficult year for Gene Segura, who in July lost his 9-month-old son, Janil, who died suddenly in the Dominican Republic. And he left the team for several days. And although you can only imagine how incredibly difficult this season has been for him. But he stays in the ball game with his team down 4-2. Brings up Josh Harrison. Harrison with runners at the corners. And listen to the MVP chance for Jay. Justin Morneau is 1 for 3 tonight for the Rockies. He's hitting .317. Harrison at .319. Who would have guessed, coming out of spring training with Josh Harrison, figured he was going to make the club as an extra guy. And in September, middle of September, they'd be chanting MVP.
I wrote that down in the envelope. I'll show it to you.
I'd like to see that. The reigning MVP in the dugout. Andrew McCutchen said himself a few weeks ago that if you look at the definition of what MVP is, that Harrison is indeed the team's most valuable player. Some would argue even Russell Martin. But as you said, Bob, you just never know who the hero is going to be each night. When you watch this Pirates team, that's what makes this 2014 edition so special.
Yeah, a lot of lineups. You can identify a place if you're an opposing pitcher of like, okay, there's somewhere I'm going to feel comfortable. You know, if you get some guys on base, you'll look for that spot. How far away am I from there? What do you look for in this lineup to where you can, really say, okay, I can get this guy out?
He checked, but Joe West said he didn't. Harrison can't believe it. We can't believe this. The Pirates lead it 3-2, 4-2. Tonight's game brought to you by Miller Lite. Hero, Russell Martin's 3-run homer gives the Pirates the 3-2 lead, and then they added the run on the base hit by Ike Davis to make it 4-2. Current magic number for the Pirates to clinch a playoff spot is 7. And the combination of Pirate wins coupled with Brewers losses totaling 7 gets the Pirates back to the postseason for the 2nd consecutive season. 3 outs away from reducing that number to 5. Mark Melancon will try and save it. Gregory Polanco pinch ran. He's in right. Clint Barmas takes over at second. Walker was lifted for a pinch runner, and Mark Melancon saved his 30th game of the season last night. Faces Aramis Ramirez, who has good career numbers against him. Strike 1.
Speaking of good numbers, some good ones there. Opponent batting average under 200. And one of the best things about Mark is he very seldom ever makes a mistake where he beats himself. You know, the base on balls. And that drives, I think, a person crazy when you have somebody that's a 9th inning guy that does not consistently throw strikes. So if Melancon is going to be beat, it almost always is without his help. The other team has to swing the bat.
Ground ball to third. Harrison. 1 away. By the way, that's assist number 10 for Jay Hay. Nissan Road ahead tomorrow night. Edinson Volquez looks for his 13th win of the year. He'll be opposed by Matt Garza. Sunday afternoon, Vance Worley opposes 16-game winner Willie Peralta. The Nissan Road ahead.
Jay Hay's making KY nervous.
Yeah. One shy of the
tying him
team record and major league record of 11 assists by a third baseman. Chris Davis takes ball 1. There he is. Josh Harrison tonight with 10 assists. Melancon. 2 outs.
Everybody getting up on their feet now.
Lyle Overbay will pinch hit.
They didn't have much to do for about 7.5 innings. Look at him now.
And the former Bucko Kevin Young on hand. Part of the 37,974 to watch this Pirates team. An incredible comeback.
Might take a while to get out of here tonight, Chris.
That's all right. Be partying on the North Shore.
Yeah, it's going to be a little crowded around the stadium for a while tonight. Some happy folks.
And against the Brewers of all teams, 0-2 on Lyle Overbay. Cardinals lead the Reds 2-1, top of the 7th, by the way. Mark Melancon trying to nail down his 31st save. John Holtzcomb is 1 out away from his first big league win. Past the mound, shortstop there, a bobble, a throw, and raise the Jolly Roger. Russell Martin leads the way to this incredible comeback over the Milwaukee Brewers, reducing the Pirates' magic number to 5 to go back to the playoffs for the second consecutive year. What a ball game.
Just an amazing team, these guys. They just always seem to find a way. They win late, and they've done it again. Just an incredible club that they've got. No egos. Everybody pulling in the same direction.
Turtle has said that so many times. He says he's never seen a club where each player celebrates the success of others. The magic number now down to 5 to return to the playoffs for the second consecutive year. So much to talk about. And Bob will be joining Rob momentarily. Right?
I gotta find a way down through this crowd.
Good luck getting down there.
This will be interesting.
Let's go downstairs to Rob.
Rob, seat about half hour.
Save the seat, Rob.
We'll take our time, Bob, because there is plenty to talk about. And Brownie, thanks very much. That magic number is 5. And how about the first 5-game winning streak of the season for the Pirates? Thanks in large part to Russell Martin, who's standing by with Robbie Inspikowski. Robbie.
And what a way to do it, the dramatic fashion that Russell Martin helped win this ball game tonight. First 5-game winning streak of the season, a season high 13 games over 500. But what might be the most impressive, this is 40 come from behind wins for this team. Why has this ball club come through when they trail late in ball games?
I mean, we're a resilient bunch of guys. We're not afraid to battle back. We're strong mentally, I think. And obviously when we have our fans supporting us behind us, it helps. And we love you.
What is this atmosphere like to you right now?
I mean, it doesn't get better than this right here. I mean, I've never heard the stadium so loud. It was special.
It's pretty amazing. Jonathan Broxton, he's a hard thrower. What was your approach in that at-bat? A 1-1 pitch. Take us through the home run. What took place?
Well, he's actually a guy that I caught when I was in L.A. I caught him for about 4 or 5 years. And
that's your buddy Neil Walker. Let's get you a towel. We're going to grab Russ a towel here real quick so we don't leave him hanging out there. Thank you, Dave. That must be whipped cream because I just saw you eat a little.
That's whipped cream. Tastes good. It tastes as sweet as it was rounding the bases.
Let's discuss your rounding the bases. We had a fantastic shot. Our cameraman, in case you don't know, Russell Martin, they do fantastic work here at Root Sports. We captured your reaction, the fist pumps. What, if you remember, what were you thinking at that moment when the ball crossed over the fence?
I don't know what to call it. It was amazing. It felt great. The crowd, the electricity. I mean, that was incredible, man. It was awesome.
How can this win help propel this team in the final 2 games and get you that much closer to another October?
Yeah, it feels good. I mean, we come to play every day. We're going to do the same thing tomorrow. So come out and support.
Ladies and gentlemen, fans at home, Russell Martin. What a night. Thanks, Russ.
Thank you.
How about that, Rob King? You want to talk about a guy driving this town nuts? Russell Martin's doing it right now.
Yeah, the crowd doesn't want to leave, Robbie. They're enjoying hanging out here tonight at PNC Park, and why wouldn't they? Russell Martin providing one of the greatest moments, certainly in the history of PNC Park, with that dramatic home run against the Milwaukee Brewers, as he also got a pie in the face. Neil Walker coming on. Here's a look. Oh! A little professional wrestling move there, the flying face plant. Flying pie plant, I guess you'd call that. And there's the Allegheny Supermo camera, presented by the Allegheny Health Network, showing the pie in the face. Well, very, very little doubt what our Miller Time play is. Just like we promised you earlier, it's Miller Time, presented by Miller Lite. The Pirates battling back. They get a couple aboard. Martin, the infield single. Walker on a single. And then Russell Martin, a 3-run homer off Jonathan Broxton, his 11th of the year. Again, one of the most dramatic moments in PNC Park history. Russell Martin powering the Pirates to their 5th straight victory. First time this season. They'd had 6 other cracks at it on the 7th try. They finally break through, get that 5th win of the season, and push themselves to 13 games over 500 and reduce their magic number to 5 for clinching a playoff spot. Coming up next on Pirates Postgame, presented by the Allegheny Health Network, we will have highlights and postgame reaction from this game. Bob Walk will make his way down through this sellout crowd to provide post-game analysis. We also have highlights from around the league and updated standings, all coming up next on Pirates Postgame.